Hey, I'm Billy Hollowell. Welcome to Pure Talk, a show brought to you by Pure Flix. I am joined today by actress Crystal Hunt. How you doing today?
I'm doing good. Preparing for what's going to be left of this hurricane that comes here in Florida.
Oh, this is the weather season, right? That we've all got to look out
It's
for.
weather season. It's not going to Florida, surprisingly, but I'm sure we'll get some of the wind and rain.
So Crystal, you are in Hilton Head Island, and it's going to be coming back very soon here for a second season.
Very exciting.
So, yes, I would imagine you're very excited. What can fans expect in this second season?
I mean, at the end of last season, Daniel appointed Alicia as CEO, so she sort of has to take on a new role. You'll have to check it out. It's definitely an interesting new spin. Not nearly the amount of not nearly the amount of medical jargon that I definitely had to say last year.
Well, yeah, and I would imagine it's tough learning some of those lines and that jargon and making sure you get it down right as an actress. Is that tough?
Well, surprisingly, I was actually in a medical magnet high school, and that's actually what I was in the middle of when I booked the guiding light, and I was actually planning to go to college for medicine. So that was my fallback plan. So no, we actually had become CNAs by the time we were sophomore year of high school. So and scrub into surgeries and whatnot and shadow around all different specialties of medicine, whatever intrigued us to see if we liked it. They called them clinicals. So
you were prepared. You were prepared.
So yeah, I actually knew them. In fact, there were some of them, they were like, how do you pronounce that?
All right. And now we've mentioned your character here. Obviously, those who are fans of the show know it's Alicia Trisk. Now, what do you like playing most about this role?
Honestly, I love it because I did choose to go the direction of my heart with my career. I mean, it was around the same 2-week time period that I got accepted into the schools that I applied to that I booked the guiding light. So, my parents were at first, they were like, well, what are you going to do? I'm like, obviously I'm going to go with the show. That's been my dream my entire life. The other one was just what I had to do for a fallback plan. But there is a part of me that still has a partiality to medicine. I do enjoy an aspect of that. So I think that it's kind of fun to pull in like a little bit of that into my actual career.
Well, and that's sort of a little interesting tidbit you said there. This was always your passion. I wanted to know why you entered entertainment. I know you did very young as a teenager, but where were the roots for that interest in the industry?
My grandmother and my mother, my grandmother, I believe it was her idea, had entered me in this pageant. My grandmother's a dressmaker. And my mom wasn't so sure. She's like, I don't really know that's a good thing to get her involved in. She's like, oh, no, she was made for this. And she'll light up, I can assure you. And I actually have videos on my computer of, it doesn't seem real. It looks like it was edited. You would think it would be edited, where like I came out and I went to turn around to leave after I accepted one of my awards at this pageant. And they're like, wait, Mom, don't go, because the winner of the blah, blah, blah category is Little Miss Crystal Hunt. Wait, Mom, don't go, because the winner of the next category is Little Miss Crystal. It really happens, I swear to you. If you want the video, I'll forward it over. It's hilarious. And then people just started approaching them about seeing whether, because Disney's around here and all the different theme parks and whatnot, and McDonald's was huge at that time. So there were so many different people casting commercials, and they had asked if I would be willing to do, obviously I was a kid, so they asked my mom if I'd be willing to do a commercial. And of course I heard it, and I've been a little adult my entire life. I'm like, yeah, of course I want to do that. So as long as I have my grades up, that was her rule. So as long as I had my grades up, she really couldn't say no. And she saw how much I loved it. So she decided to back me 100%. But again, like if I didn't have my grades up, I was not going to my next audition. So.
Well, and that's good parenting, right? Making sure that you're still keeping those grades up, even though you're getting to pursue this passion, which is becoming.
You have to have a bargaining tool.
Exactly. Yeah. So you obviously started very young on Guiding Light, and you were nominated for an Emmy. What was that like for you?
It was crazy. I mean, I just gotten out of high school, not even out of it. I was in the middle of my senior year of high school, 17. And I believe actually the first year I was nominated in-house, which was meeting at the network level. And I didn't even know what to do with myself about that, let alone the next year actually getting the full nomination. That was just mind-blowing. And then actually be wearing Versace to the Emmys. I was told it was like one of the last, some of the last designs of his before they turned over to his sister's drawings. So it was pretty incredible. And I believe I was the first person to walk the red carpet with an animal too, because my dog Roxy was on the show with me. So they actually made her a miniature Versace gown to wear with me, and we walked the red carpet. And then I guess, what's that? Corwin, Jeff Corwin, is that the guy, the animal guy?
Oh, I don't know. There's so many of those animal people.
He tried to follow it up a year or two after that by bringing a penguin on the red carpet.
So you started a trend. He was trying to one up you with the penguin.
Yeah, I originated it, so it's okay.
I love
it.
So you've had, obviously you've been in Hollywood a long time and you've had the chance to work on a lot of different projects. What would you say has been your most rewarding, personally, project to date?
Technically, I was in New York for the first decade. But LA has been, after One Life to Live went off the air, which I love, by the way. I miss New York. It's so just refreshing to be in a city where you can look around and talk about your career, and there's not a million, and not every person, including the person who's taking your order at Starbucks, is in entertainment or aspiring to be. It's just so insane to see a town be so oversaturated with one occupation or one industry. I've got to say the most rewarding would be Guiding Light, because soaps make you work so much harder than absolutely any medium. And even though I would say I had more material on One Life to Live as far as how many pages I had memorized a day, I definitely had my longest hours on the Guiding Light, but also I learned the most. I was never put into a young adult cast situation, like storyline. I went right in to being with the heaviest hitters of the show, and all adults that have been there forever. And that's a lot. And a lot of them gave me a lot of input. They're like, everything that you see here, you can take so much from. I promise you this. Just sit and listen, take in everything everybody's doing, the lighting, the different adjustments they're making, and then you will automatically even know how to make those adjustments yourself without them having to even come out and do them. And it's true. You don't know when you're ever going to use that, but it does come around where you actually end up being a savior on other projects. That would have taken us forever if you hadn't been on top of that. But it's true, whether you're cheating shadows or trying to help somebody else find their lighting or find your own lighting, or whatever it may be, or even just knowing your lines. I think soaps really do. I say it to everyone. It's the best paid acting class you can possibly go to. Should you get
you're working the hardest. I mean, I think you're working the hardest, as you were saying. It seems like the workload is a lot heavier than it is for other forms of,
Oh, hands down. Everything is easy from there on.
So it's good. It's a good training ground. And I would imagine it's a good training ground too, just in general, not only soaps, but Hollywood, in life. I would imagine you walk away with certain life lessons after spending the amount of time you have in the industry. So with that, what are some of the big lessons you've taken away from Hollywood?
I guess never, and I've seen this with other people, I do my best to try to not make as many mistakes as I can. Personally, I try to watch other people's mistakes, because those are a lot less painful to have to deal with in life. I would say not to ever underappreciate things. I think that I've seen so many people that had the same tears in their eyes when they booked their first job, first major job that I did, and that really passionately wanted that they had this passion for our career and they really wanted it badly, just as much as we all do. We're up till God knows what time in the middle of the night studying their lines and going over and over and over until they, if you go over them so many times, you actually forget them. You're like, oh God, then you're even more stressed out. But luckily, usually the next morning they pop back in. But it's so sad to see people who had that same excitement and true love for something kind of forget what it was all about and where it all started, because a lot of people do, and then it comes down to the numbers and the how long they've been there at the studio and compensating with overtime and this and that, and it's like, yeah, all those things are like a part of business, so it's smart to be aware of that stuff, but don't let it affect your love for what you do, for your craft, and enjoy it, because ultimately life is so short. And if you're starting that way already, it's going to be a long, long road. And Absolutely. There's a lot of people out there that do want a job and do want to work, that are more than happy to stay there for as long as possible. And I would imagine they might start getting hired too. And you don't want to really eliminate your chances of other projects.
Yeah, appreciating what you have, and that goes for whether you're in Hollywood or anywhere else, and keeping that love alive for what you have. Now, you obviously you have Hilton Head Island. It's coming out season 2 very soon. There's also another show that will be coming down the pipeline here. It's called Mood Swings. What can you tell us about that?
It's so exciting. So I created this concept when I did Queens of Drama with Don Mills and Vanessa Marcel, and we all had to pitch series ideas, and I had always had this idea, but I just never written it down. And then Pure Flix's David White said, "Whatever happened to that? Did you ever do anything with that?" It's like, "No." He's like, "Oh, could you just maybe just give me like a little rough pitch of it?" I'm like, sure. I mean, last thing I had on my mind at the moment, and certainly hadn't even read it in a little while myself. So I'm like, here it goes. And the next thing you know, we go into production next month. It's very exciting.
So is it comedy and drama, just one or the other?
It's comedy.
It's comedy?
Mm-hmm. Anytime you're talking about females and hormones, it's a comedy.
Congratulations on that, and congratulations on another season of Hilton Head Island. Crystal, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you taking the time today, and everyone else watching, you can go next week to our Facebook page to watch another episode of Pure Talk. It's facebook.com/PureFlix.
Here's the deal. PureFlix.com has 6,500 titles you can watch right now. That's way too many to show you in just 90 seconds, but you know what? Here we go.
I am the man, you are the dog. I am talking to a dog.
How many times do you know the directions to your house, but you listening to the phone?